How's everybody doing? Welcome to the show. And we all know what happened to Charlie Kirk, a great man in my opinion. But we're going to discuss what's going to happen to the killer. And in this episode of Deeply Disgusted, we're going to get into what we really deeply disgusted about. And we deeply disgusted about these liberals spreading hate and manipulating minds. Let's get to it. Let's go.
So here you see the suspect ran behind that upper building. He's going to come out on the right, moves to this far right corner.
Look at him go. Look at him go.
As he does, he's going to climb off the edge and then drop down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is.
He committed one of the most heinous crimes that you could ever commit on U.S. soil. An assassination with a rifle and a sniper. Nine times out of 10, you get the death penalty. And he committed that crime, and he touched a piece of ledge from a roof to climb down to the grass. We got FBI, forensic FBI, intelligence, microscopic Department of Defense. We got all type of AI technology recognizing face and could analyze fingerprints with just a sweat. And you commit the most heinous crime and you touched a ledge with your fingerprints.
Clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes. Here you see the suspect after dropping off the building. He moved around across this grassy area, around the parking lot. After he crosses the street, this is where he moves over into the wooded area. This is the video evidence that we utilize to track his movements and to locate that firearm in that wooded area following the discovery of this evidence. So here you see the suspect ran behind that upper.
You know what I'm so baffled about? I'm so baffled that somebody who got a 4.0 and got a scholarship for $32,000 to go to the school, I'm so baffled by how he commits such a crime a little few miles away and don't think he's not going to get caught. That's how the hate he had in his mind blinded him from thinking logically. How you think you're going to get away from a crime with a gun that your father owns? I bet you didn't even load the bullet with gloves. This boy's heart was probably beating 1,000 miles per second. You see, these white boys, they sit there at home all day and, not only the white ones, all of them, the black, browns, everybody. They sit home and they playing these video games, explosions all around them, and they dying 10 million times and they coming back. And after a while, it starts to become like they're in the Matrix, like they in the world of like fantasy. They start to think that men are females and females are men, and they start to believe that, a kid that feels that he's a cat should be called a cat and we should respect him if he meows. That's what these liberals want us to do. They want us to go into their world of Matrix, their world of non-logic, a world of what are we even talking about? That's their world. Majority of everything in the world is like, what are we talking about now? What is it? Okay, We're gonna follow up with this update from the sheriff, updating us about the shooting suspect and what we need to really know, because we need to figure out who this little boy is. We need to figure out his whole life. But let's see what he has to say with his cowboy hat on. Let's see what's going on. Hee-haw!
I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chief.
They did a good job. They did a good job. They caught him in less than a week. When it was some people on social media saying they're not going to catch him. He's gone. He's gone. But when they started to track him and they started to show videos of them tracking him, I knew this boy probably lived a few miles away, because I'm like, wait, where's the getaway car? Where's the helicopter? Where's the private jet? You commit a crime like that, you're supposed to be heading to Brazil. Matter of fact, forget that. You're supposed to be heading to a country that has no extradition, because what you did, if you're able to get away out the country before they know your name, before they know who you are, sometimes it could take a week, maybe a 2 week for them to even find out the killer's name. You could be already out the country. And then there will be no way to get you without an extradited, not a P Diddy, a extradited law. You would not. There's no way the United States could get you back. Impossible.
Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got to solve. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are.
Yes, he's 1,000% correct. This cuts into our ideology. You know, it's a scare tactic to have us put our mics down, to have us go into the shadows like they was for many years. They was in the shadows with their green hair and their blue hair and their pink hairs. It was many men in the shadows with a red lipstick and their eye shadow. Now they trying to reverse. They trying to reverse history. They trying to put us in the closet. But we not going in the closet at all. We gonna stand strong. And our voices gonna be louder. Louder and prouder. and we gonna make sure we carry on Charlie Kirk mission. Now, I wasn't one of those who was, changed by Charlie Kirk. I was changed way before. I was one of the ones celebrating Trump when I used to get hate messages, on Instagram. So I understand. I get it. I feel attacked. I feel personally attacked. I feel like I was Charlie Kirk that day. I feel like I was him that day.
Are of who we have been and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never.
Yes. We can't have somebody running around that know how to use a sniper. Okay, I get all y'all in the hood, got y'all little blickies, but y'all don't even know how to shoot. Half of y'all shoot the wrong people and y'all shoot all type of innocent bystanders. But we talk about somebody who's trained. He was trained from a young boy how to use guns from his father, because his father was into guns. His father was a sheriff. His father was a sheriff. This is no joke. You think you could have a man like that loose in society and then let him get away with it? Next thing you know, it's gonna be somebody else on the sniper list, because all he gonna do is perfect his craft. He gonna make sure he have better ways to escape. Next time he might have an e-bike.
Ever be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me,
Utah, this is a good governor y'all got right here. I could see. This is a good governor y'all got right here, Utah. Y'all better vote for him back in. Vote him back in. I don't know his policies. I don't know, but he seems like he's sensible. And he seems like he's fair. I mean, it's terrible what's going on. It's terrible how the youth is being brainwashed through this thing that hurts us and help us, called social media. But it's something that we need. I mean, it helps us with our business. It helps us with our dating life. And it also helps us get educated in things that are factual. So you just got to use it wisely. You can't let social media take over you. You got to control social media. You got to know when to put it down. You got to know when to listen to that guy that's hollering at you in the street, that's trying to get to know you, and focus more on him than the person on the internet that's DMing you, asking you to fly you out. Which he does to 1,000 chicks every day. every day. You're just 1,000th. You're just a 1,000th.
He said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop.
You heard that? You heard that? That was one of Charlie's last words. It was this digital. He said, put down the phone. Internet fury is not real. It's gonna be okay. It's like he knew something was coming, but he just didn't know it was coming directly to him. He just didn't know it was coming directly to him. But so we're gonna see what Erica KIRK has to say. This is Charlie Kirk's wife. This is the woman that they took him away from, basically. His lovely wife and his kids. She's a brave woman for even making the choice to have the discussion and thanking the public, basically. She's strong, but we're gonna see what she got to say. Let's check her out. She's looking real good though, real good, dressed very well. Check this out.
I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin so that he can be brought to justice. I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically to save Charles's life, and the police who acted bravely to make sure that there were no other victims on that terrible afternoon. I want to thank the officers who have protected our Turning Point USA family these past 2 days. And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board, the COO, Justin Strife, and my husband's chief of...
Yeah, that's true. The Turning Point staff, they're at danger. Like, this could be a monopoly of, like, violence, they can't even put on any Turning Point merch without probably getting a shot or getting plotted on by some demon liberals. Plotted on by some demon liberals. I mean, a man this great, if you could take him out, a regular kid in a regular suburbs, and this guy got security, but he didn't have the security like a president, where they could have shot him. They didn't even have that type of, security. He just had regular security with sunglasses. That's it. That's it.
My husband witnessed for his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Now and for all eternity, he will stand at his Savior's side, wearing the glorious crown of a martyr. Charlie loved life. He loved his life. He loved America. He loved nature, which helped him always bring him closer to God. He loved the Chicago Cubs. And my goodness, did he love the Oregon Ducks. Want me to say go Ducks, so I have to since they play on Saturday. So go Ducks.
Yeah. Yeah, she's in good spirits. This is definitely a good woman. Definitely a good woman. It's funny how he liked nature because I'm sure a lot of people could agree with me. Nature kind of brings me back to myself in a strange type of way. You know, like it's even hard for me to live without a dog. Like I just love animals. I love nature. Like even the gross ones, spiders. You know, I have lizards. I got all type of things. You know, I just love nature and I like being in nature. You know, I think everybody should get some type of connection with nature because sometimes when you're going through things in life, sometimes nature could bring you back to yourself. You know, just a word of advice, you know? That's all. It's a video of Charlie and Candace Owens just like having a good time. The only thing is it's like copyrighted music. So. But you could tell that they having a good time. Like this guy was loved. Like look at him. Look at him. He's having a good time. Like he's being himself. Little quirky, dorky. You could tell. Like he's a book. Like he read books and he educated himself. He's a great debater. How you think he become a great debater by sitting back and chilling? He put in the work. He put in the mental work, and he got punished for it. He got punished for it.
There are ramifications for the negative that can happen. I'll talk about this freedom of speech. Yes, we all do have freedom of speech, but at times there are ramifications for the negative that can happen. I'll talk about this freedom of speech. Yes, we all do have.
Y'all hear that? That's your hero right there, LeBron James. We all got freedom of speech, but sometimes it could be a negative based on what you say. So you're promoting violence, LeBron? You see, this is one of our leaders. The Liberal Party got him by his sacks. The Liberal Party got him by his sacks. So it's nothing he could do because any little movement, his sacks is gonna hurt. So he's caught between like a rock and a hard place, but he ain't no Jordan. Jordan keeps his mouth shut. Jordan keeps his mouth shut. How many times have you heard Jordan say anything about anything? Anything about, listen, a bomb could drop at Jordan's backyard and it'll be on the news and you wouldn't hear one statement from Jordan. Everybody would be like, yo, was it really Jordan's house? Why he's not saying anything? Because Jordan knows how this goes, man. Just keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut, LeBron. Just shut it up and play basketball.
Knowing that Charlie really was an amazing person. You know, he was like, we were really close. And he was my best friend and my brother. And I will never unsee the footage of what I saw, the violence of it. I pray for the people who took any pleasure in that. I would never, there's not a single person in the world that I would wish that on. And I don't want today to be about anything other than you guys.
Yeah, Candace is hurt. You could see it. You could see it in her face. You see, the thing about a lot of people is that all their life they live in one location. They live in one geographical location. So, say example, if you Mexican, you live in a Mexican neighborhood, all you gonna know anything, all you gonna know is Mexican, Mexican. You're not gonna have any sympathy for other people's. You know, if you live in a black neighborhood and majority 90% of your neighbors are black, they just like you, they act just like you. You don't get no diversity. It's not a good thing because the media could brainwash you when you don't know the other person. It's easier to brainwash you. If you never had a white boy or a white girl that was like your best friend and y'all chilled and went to the movies and hung out, and if the media keeps saying, "Oh, they're bad, they're bad, they're bad, they're all racist, they all this, they all that," you're gonna believe it easier because you're trapped in one geographical location. You see Candace Owens and Charlie, they traveled out of their geographical location. That's why you could have a beautiful brown woman like this married to a white man. And they could be in love with each other and have children. And all of y'all would sit there and like be scratching your heads. That's why a guy like Charlie could sit back so comfortably and talk about what's going on in the black community because he actually been there. He actually traveled there. He actually studied it. He educated himself on it. He talked to the people. He talked to educated people that came from these neighborhoods. He traveled. He networked. He wasn't somebody just in his room just like, let me just research black people today. No. It didn't happen like that.
Of trans people.
Well, it depends what you mean on that, of which I refuse to do.
Why can you not respect the existence of trans people?
Well, it depends what you mean by that. If you mean lying, I won't lie. But every human being is made in the image of God, and so they deserve human rights. But at the same time, we have an obligation to our fellow citizen and fellow, hopefully, brothers in Christ one day or sisters to lie to them. And so when someone says they are a man when they're really a woman, or they say they're a woman when they're a man, and you affirm that, you are co-signing on that, of which I refuse to do.
Why can you not respect the existence of trans people?
Yo, he's so right. He's so right. Just basically saying that you agree with their argument and their logic, you're lying to yourself. You're telling yourself, oh, okay, forget everything you learned from a baby. Just erase it. If you see a man with a mustache and he has hair on his back and his hands is as big as a tree log, but he has a soft voice and he has a pink skirt and he says, "I'm a woman, respect my rights." And you look at him and say, okay, you're a woman. How can you even look at yourself in the mirror knowing that you just called somebody that got hairy legs with a pink dress on with muscles bigger than yours a woman? And if he wanted to, he could bang your woman because he still has a you know what. How does that even make any sense?
Can you imagine when this race is won? Turn our golden faces. Music's played by the. I want to be.
Yo, this man was great. Look at that. I can't play the music. You know how YouTube is. Look at his transitions in life. Debating. See, look, he was a debater. Educated himself. Wrote best-selling books. Launched a natural conference and gatherings for so much people. He was a warrior of Jesus. Spoke months. Refused to buy down. He became the spark of so much votes. The spark of he opened up so many people's minds. Came from Illinois too. Strong Christian family. You could tell. He challenged the liberal narratives from high school. He started Turning Point at the age of 18. He was one of those like kids you see on the news being interviewed by like CNN and Fox News and stuff, and you'd be like, how did this dude get here? And they talk about how he created his own company at like 17, 18. He was a dweeb that was into educating himself. That's who Charlie was. And it made him become a great man.
Or smoke pot. And you're married and super Christian. We're going to get along great.
No, this is going to just be perfect.
But can I just ask you, because I want to find out a lot about you, because you're obviously a super bright guy, but
Look at this, y'all. The liberals gonna boo Charlie Kirk. Evil.
Let's wait a minute. Wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order.
You heard her curse at him? She cursed at Charlie.
The House will be in order.
These are the people you vote for. These are who you vote for.
The House will be in order.
Thanks for watching. Charlie was right.
We will join prayer right after this, okay?
And
what purpose does the gentlelady from Colorado rise?
Like and subscribe. Sad. Really sad.